Hi guys, welcome to today's video. Today we're talking about rim brakes and are they still relevant in 2022? Now everything now, just deleting rim brakes from the history books, I thought I'd dust off the R3 in its climbing spec at the moment, and so just talk to you reasons why still that I still run only rim brake road bikes in 2022. I've got still no intentions of buying a disc brake road bike. And there are a few reasons. First of all, weight. This bike, as you see it, with 10 speed on it, some really old XXX light carbon clinchers, carbon crank. This weighs sub 6 kilos. I think it's, when I weighed it with the cages and the pedals, it was 5.6 kilos, which is unattainable unless you're willing to spend £17,000 on a bike nowadays with disc brakes. And even then, you'll be hard pressed to sort of get to this sort of weight really, unless you're using the nichest German of brands like Extra Light and all those sort of companies. So to have something fairly modest with 10 speed on it still, and say these wheels are at least 10 years old, and it's last generation R5, to still be able to get down to those weights and not have a massive outlay is super appealing, for me personally anyway. Obviously I've got the CAD 12 with the deep section wheels on. That's an aluminium frame with 80mm wheels in it, and that's still under 7 kilos. That's UCI weight limit at 6.8 kilos rim brake on an aluminium frame. Obviously it's got super record on there, but you know, it's still got 80mm wheels on there. So that's the first point for me, is weight. Second point for me is still the modulation, like the way you can modulate a brake lever on a rim brake, and the feel through that lever to the wheel and your braking, the way you can just adjust how you're feeling and braking depending on what feedback you're getting back from the bike, is huge on me. I massively prefer how a rim brake bike feels on the sort of feel on the lever. So that's another point for me. I think another big point for me as well is the actual hood designs. Now on a rim brake bike, the hood's really nice and sort of tight, compact, really nice feel, nice and small here, just feels really nice in the hand. The sort of trend at the moment, especially with, well, SRAM started it, but now Shimano follows through with the 105, Ultegra and Dura-Ace have a big unit on top of here, which is great when you're on the hoods and sort of sat, sort of your arms 90 degree along here and you hold on to the top there. But for most riding, like, it just is just nicer to hold on to a rim brake lever. Now obviously people who are getting into cycling and stuff like that in the last few years, because since COVID, probably haven't ridden rim brake road bikes, so it won't know any different. But for me personally, that's another part of it for me. I just think overall as well, the way the bikes look, they look way cleaner. Obviously now with disc brakes you can hide the cables, so in your R5 you don't see any of the cables here. Obviously you don't have any here, you don't have any coming out the top here, you don't have anything sort of showing massively there now either with the wireless stuff. But for me, the classical lines, when you just step back and you look at a rim brake road bike, you've got nice clean zones down here, nice clean zone down here. It just looks better for me. Like when you've got a traditional frame like the CAD 12, that's why I still have the CAD 12, just because you've got the vertical top tube, way more traditional looking bike, like the old Super 6s and stuff. And I'd say personally still prefer the older design Super 6 to the new one, even though they did a rim brake option in its first year, just because of the way it looks. So they're my kind of real reasons why I still ride 2022 rim brake bikes. At some point I'm even going to have to make a decision to either start looking at super niche stuff, like Conago CC8 is going to do a rim brake option later on this year, Pinero F rim brake, but they are super hard to come by. And from there, like Fesca and sort of other custom brands is going to be my only route into rim brake. Or do I just go, right, that's it, I'm going to have to move into disc brakes? But I will hold off as long as I can, even if it comes to it, maybe even look at eBay options and sort of keep the rim brake stuff going for as long as I can, just because of the feel. Unless the feel changes on the road stuff, it'd be good to ride one of the newer Shimano group sets, because apparently they've adjusted how the bike feels and braking. So it would be useful to maybe ride one of them at some point, see how it feels. But let me know what your thoughts are and what you ride and what you prefer to ride. Do you prefer rim, or do you prefer disc? If you come from rim brake to disc brake and never go back, or do you miss riding rim brake bikes? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll catch you guys later on. Cheers.